Hi YouTube. Today I want to talk about a subject that has been bothering me for a little while now, and that is plus size in Lolita fashion. And before I get started, I just want to briefly go over my own personal experience with being a plus size teenager. I am 26 years old right now, and basically ever since I can remember, I was always the bigger kid, and I was both the taller kid and the whiter kid, and I was kind of a burly kid. And then what happened was, I don't know, somewhere maybe a little bit before puberty, I really started to pack on the pounds, and by the time I was about 16 years old, I weighed usually around 180 pounds to 190 pounds. Right now I'm 120 or 125. I don't weigh myself every day, but that's kind of my range at the moment. And where the shift happened was that I am not a person who worked to lose weight at all. I developed a gastrointestinal problem, and as a result, I basically now have a very hard time in keeping on weight unless I'm on medication. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer and talk about that, but I briefly wanted to mention that up until about my 19th birthday, was in the plus size department. I was maybe a size 18 or so. I had this funny tendency where I really liked how I looked at 170 pounds. So whenever I got up pretty high, around sometimes 190, I would, then go on a diet to about 170. And then once I hit 170, I would, let myself sort of creep back up over time. So I just wanted to mention that real quick before we got started, because I'm basing a lot of my feelings about this subject both on what I've seen my friends go through, but also a bit thinking back to sort of where I was during that period of my life, which was basically most of my life, and then looking at Lolita fashion now, and I just wanted to mention that. So moving on to the subject at hand, that was not ladylike, but I had to do it. Basically what I wanted to talk about is I notice there's a lot of sensitivity around plus size and Lolita fashion in combination. And I really wanted to make a video of encouragement about there's a huge misperception that I really want to clear up, and that is that Lolita fashion is absolutely for everyone. Whether you look good or not, whether you look Ida or not, is based on how you put your wardrobe together. It is not based on your body size. It is not based on your hair color. It is not based on the natural shape of your face. It is not based on whether or not your innate body being self is a certain shape or a certain color or a certain number in terms of size range. And the misperception sort of comes up in that this fashion started as a street fashion in Japan, and to be very honest and open about it, the Japanese are pretty, I don't know what to call it, homogenous. It's just like with any ethnic group around the world where, like, you can take, I don't know, a bunch of Swedish people, and they all sort of have similar measurements, proportions, ranges, things like that. And Japan is very much like that and very concentrated because of sort of the isolation Japan even maintains to this day. And so, you know, if you go into any Japanese apparel store, most of them don't have size ranges. They have sort of the size that they think their customers are. I don't know if they do survey work or how they figure out, but they sort of guesstimate sort of what shape their customer is, and then they make clothes based on who they think their customer is. And there's often no sizes. There are companies that do size ranges, but most Lolita brands fall into the group that don't do sizes. And so individual dresses within the Lolita brand stores range. That's partially why there's a lot of shearing in the garments. That's, you know, a lot of the cut and the shape of Lolita is actually very forgiving and kind of leaves a lot of room for, you know, variation on some levels. But I've noticed that there is a misperception that that kind of sizing is a direct message, or people think the companies and the brands are trying to send a direct message of they only want a certain size person to wear their clothes. And I'm not trying to defend the brands because I like them. I just want to say that I think the issue is not that personal. I think the issue is more I want to use the word kind of naive, but I don't think it's an intentional thing. I don't think it's an intentional destructive message they're trying to send. It's just sort of how it is. Certain companies like Innocent World make a range of sizes, but Angelic Pretty and Baby the Stars Shine Bright tend not to. So that's something that's part of this video that I wanted to mention, was that I really think it's important to keep in mind that it's not you, it's not them, but it's a misunderstanding. It's not any kind of intentional thing that's being communicated. It's a misunderstanding between the customer's needs and the company, what they're producing, what they're putting out for their customers. And this gap happens in a lot of products. It's just that it's much more personal and it hits harder, closer to home when it has to do with sizing. So that's what I wanted to say about that. The other thing I wanted to say is that I do know that within the Lolita community, there is some fat shaming going on. And I want to tell you that you need to not pay attention to those people. Those people have problems and they're trying to project their problems on you. Lolita clothing does not look bad on any figure. You know, if an outfit or if a photograph doesn't look good, it's not because of a person's size. It's because of because of a combination of other factors. A combination of factors that could happen to anyone at any size, at any shape. You know, we all have those days where we just put on the wrong wig with the wrong dress, and these fat shamers are grabbing onto something that has nothing to do with really what they don't like or what irritates them about the photograph, and they're using that. This is the same tactic that schoolyard bullies constantly use when they make fun of other children. And I think it's important to recognize, to realize, and to not be hurt, and to not pay attention or give weight to what those types of people say, because they're sad. If You know, if somebody spends all day making fun of other people based on shapes, based on their geometric shape at the time, that person is a sad, sad person. And it's so important to not let those people bring you down. I have never seen a person of any shape or size who looks bad in Lolita. Lolita is a hugely forgiving style. And that is not to say that people, you know, it's so hard to talk about the subject, because what I'm just trying to get down to is, you know, do what you want to do. And it's very hard to sit here and to try to be very careful with my words when what I'm really just trying to say is, if somebody is making fun of you, or if somebody ever makes the comment that you shouldn't wear a certain kind of clothing, that person is wrong. They're just wrong. You are in the right. You have the right to express yourself. You look good in clothing that makes you feel happy. And that's what's important. And anyone who makes fun of you using arbitrary, rude, offensive language, and, you know, pointing out things that are just, I don't know, stupid. I'm reduced to this, to calling things stupid. You know, just, they're not worth your time. I mean, for example, right now in my life, this is silly, but like, I am not a plus size person at the moment. But let's think of something really, really dumb for somebody to make fun of me based on. Okay, here's something. I have cerebral palsy. My right hand sometimes kind of retracts. It sort of folds up against my body sometimes. I've had a few pictures taken in group situations where my arm is folded in a funny way. If I posted a bunch of pictures from a picnic or something on Tumblr, and and my arm's folded up or something, how stupid would that be for somebody to decide that that's a thing to make fun of? And it's not, and it's such a dumb, silly thing to make fun of. I should never be upset by it, because that person is a sad person for trying to come up with some way to get an emotional response out of me. And I don't know. So this is basically the crux of the video. Beyond this point, I guess I'm just I'm restating my point. Yes, sometimes brand stuff doesn't work. For me, I've tried on a lot of brand things and they don't fit. And a lot of people would say, oh, but you're a size 2. How could brand not fit you? Well, I'm a size 2 on the top and I'm a size 8 on the bottom. But it's very simple. Certain things just aren't cut right. Certain things aren't built for my shape. I have broad shoulders. So even though I have absolutely no meat on the top half of me, my shoulders are the same width as a pair of shoulders on a larger person. And so I've tried on brand blouses before and they don't work. I've really learned my lesson after ordering a one-piece that was technically around a US size medium, and it didn't fit. And, you know, everyone goes through this. And what I've found is, you know, you just gotta find what works for you. And I say, make it yourself, you know. I have taken to convert several of my dresses that I wore before getting into Lolita fashion into Lolita dresses because they fit so well while they're coming with me. Other things are like Element. I'm trying to start a show called, the Budget Lolita, and look what I bought. This is a sizeless object, and it's wonderful. I absolutely love my bunny bear, and my bunny bear fits me no matter what. And so, get out there, be a good Lolita. That's all I was trying to say. Bye. Oh my god, I filmed that whole thing and I had something on my teeth.